The entire Bible, the whole thing from beginning to end, is about slavery and about being freed from slavery.
Yes.
The whole thing. So you start with God creates a good world. They're not enslaved, but then they break that good relationship with God and they become enslaved to sin and evil. And then that sin and evil, you kind of see as Jesus talks about how a little bit of leaven works its way throughout the whole. That wickedness works its way out through the whole. And we see that in the history of brokenness that just leads to all sorts of kind of slavery. But it's always pointing back to this first kind of slavery that's causing everything else, right? Where they're enslaved to Egypt, they're enslaved to the Assyrians, to the Babylonians, to the Persians, to the Greeks, to the Ptolemies and Seleucids, and then in the New Testament to the Romans. The entire thing, all the books are wrapped around the idea of slavery bad, freedom good, God come and free us. And then the irony, of course, is Wes is pointing out, but then you're enslaving people. And this is like, take Leviticus 25 as an example. God says to them in verse 42, because the Israelites are my servants whom I brought out of Egypt, they must not be sold as slaves. Don't rule over them ruthlessly, but fear your God. In other words, like, you didn't like being a slave,
right.
So don't enslave other people.